Have you ever wondered how some people just seem effortlessly light? They've got all the best opportunities, people are drawn to them, and they want them around, while you're seemingly getting by, struggling to connect and have the same relationships they are. It's no surprise that there's something going on that most of us aren't aware of. I was like this as well. I was totally left in the dark. I'd grown up struggling with my social skills and not knowing why until this one thing hit me. I'm going to share that in this video, the thing that totally transformed all of those relationships. It's a simple truth that we all value something in life. That might be status, it might be how attractive somebody is, or it might be that that person's really into the same stuff that you are. All of us have our own idea about what is valuable. The mistakes that people make is that because they think something's valuable, that everybody else should think that it's valuable too. And what we try and do is we try and reach other people at that level. We want something, we must think that other people want the same thing as us, when that simply isn't true. It creates a lot of frustration in relationships because we can't get our head around why there's a mismatch between our actions and the results that we're getting from other people. And here's the big problem. The law of relationships is that people enter relationships to get needs met. And something that changed my perception of relationships was understanding unless you're able to meet somebody's needs, give them something they want, 9 times out of 10 there won't be a relationship. And the truth is people struggle because they're trying too much to give people the things that they themselves want rather than trying to give the people the things that they actually want. I, for years, believed that the world should be a certain way, and I interacted with people kind of ramming it down their throats. This is also what they should believe. Not really understanding that people just have totally different values to me. Yeah, I believed that my way was the right way for me. However, I just severely underestimated just what other people valued. I believed that because people were like me, we're all the same, that they should value the same things as me, but it is simply not true. When I was interacting with people, a lot of the things that I was saying were landing on deaf ears. And rather than making friends and connecting, 9 times out of 10, I was pushing people away because the things that they valued, I was attacking. I was actually giving them negative feelings about the things that they liked. And it was no wonder that I struggled so much to connect. For most of my 20s, I was left in the dark, struggling to connect, not having my own tribe or friends, and really struggling with my relationships. And this carried on for years. I struggled socially, I couldn't date. I felt like I was putting so much effort into my social skills trying to connect with people, but all of it was for nothing because none of it was working. That was until I learned this one thing: be the chocolate cake of life. Most of the time, what we're doing is we're going around shoving vegetables down people's throats. Yeah, vegetables might be good for you, they might be what makes you healthy and strong, but unfortunately, most people don't want vegetables. What they actually want is chocolate cake. People don't want to improve their lives as much as we think they do, or you'd see that in their behavior. What people want is to feel good. They want to have pleasures, excitement, nice positive feelings, and what they don't want is a lot of the difficulties and the things that sometimes being in this space entails. You might struggle to connect with people because you just simply don't have the same values. Because if you did, you probably wouldn't have trouble. I love this quote by Ayn Rand. We have no right to demand from another what they have not willfully given us. Far too often, what we're trying to do is we're going to take value from people. We're going to try and force things on them or take things from them. We become little tyrants that are trying to project our values onto everybody else because we think they're the best things. You can't teach a pig to sing. You'll only piss off the pig and become very frustrated. And that is what we do so much of the time when we're trying to connect, is we're trying to force vegetables down people's throat and we're trying to extract value or give things that people aren't interested in. It's true that most people want chocolate cake, and if you're struggling to connect, it might be because you're trying to shove vegetables down their throats. It's so important to reach people where they are, not where we wish they were. So if you want to influence people, you want to interact and get more out of your relationships, it's important to speak the same language as the people that you're interacting with. And that's one of the biggest problems I was having in my relationship, is I was expecting everybody else to be speaking the same language as me. Instead of adapting myself, learning what they wanted, what they valued, and trying to relate to them using their own language. And this is when everything changed, because I learned that to get what I wanted from my relationships, I also had to give them what they wanted. I was trying to extract value, but not give value. Once I started judging people less and started giving them more of the things that they wanted, I actually found that my relationships with people improved massively. People started to accept me a lot more. I became less judgmental. I became more compassionate and a lot more tolerant of people. I became more like the chocolate cake, and I gave them what they wanted. I could still have my same values and opinions. I just didn't have to ram them down people's throats. When I gave the people the space, they actually liked me more, they respected me more, and they actually wanted to know what I thought about things. And I became a lot more influential because people trusted me. They felt like I was more like them. They didn't feel judged or that I was going to lecture or shove things down their throats. They trusted me, and I started to be able to influence them in a way that I'd never been able to influence people before. When you give people the things that they want, you remove a lot of the unnecessary friction in those relationships, and you're able to get more of the things that you want out of the relationships. Now, one of the most underrated skills that I developed was listening. A lot of people think to listen, you just have to open your ears, nod your head, and then carry on talking about whatever you wanted. But this isn't true. So to learn what people really want, you need to listen. You need to listen actively. You need to understand what that person is saying. The thoughts, their opinions, their emotions, their desires are all locked in their language. And the more that you listen, the more that you're actually able to hear these things and you're able to respond to them actively. You need to listen for the things that make their voice light up, that make them energized, enthusiastic, and passionate. The things that get them emotional, or the things that they desire, their hopes and their dreams. When you listen to this, people are giving you everything you need to know about them. People want to connect. When they feel that you're really listening, like actually really listening, people open up. They like you, and they actually want to have more of you around. You give them value, and they also give you value. Most people just go through the world waiting for their chance to talk. You've got two people selfishly trying to get their needs met, talking over each other, not really listening. So when you're somebody who actually listens, it's powerful. It is very valuable. Somebody gives you value, you are hardwired to want to give value back. People don't want to be around people who leech, they sponge, and they absorb value. People want people who can add value, make their lives better, and in order to keep those people around, they will also give as much value to that person as possible. I studied a lot of behavioral economics. One of the most fascinating things that I discovered was in game theory research. Players were consistently punished for taking value and not providing it. And what would happen is these people would end up being segmented into one group where you had all the defectors together, and the people who cooperated would go into another group. The players quickly learned to avoid the value takers, so these takers would end up isolated or just surrounded by other takers. But the players that gave value would actually attract more people who gave value. You'd get communities that thrive together through communal giving and communal reciprocity. And you'd have other communities who didn't thrive. They almost barely survived. So here's the thing, give freely, but don't continue to give to people who take. You are under no obligation to continue to give to people who just want to take things. Reserve your energy, isolate those people, and then continue giving to the people that deserve it or value the thing that you're giving. When you discover these principles, something amazing happens. Your relationships totally transform because you have become a value giver. You no longer feel like you're pushing boulders uphill in your relationships. Your relationships become a lot more selective, and they become a lot more rich because the right people come to you. When you help people live a better life and you add value, people are naturally drawn to you. They want to help you because you've helped them. You've made them feel understood and valued. You also become a lot more selective because you understand that you've got good people around you and that you don't have to give to people who are just going to take. Protecting your energy and your boundaries and only giving it to the people that deserve it and value you. The secret to life is to become as valuable as possible so that you can help as many people solve their problems. And the more that you're able to help and make the world a better place, the more they're going to want to give you in return. So here's the thing for you to do. In your interactions with people, instead of thinking, what can I get? What do I want? Try to think about how can I help this person get the things that they want. Find out through active listening, what does that person want? What do they value? And how can I best help them get that? How can I help other people achieve their goals and add value? I guarantee the more that you do this in your life, the more that you're going to experience people want you around, they find you valuable, and people will respect you. First, fill your own needs. Stop trying to take things from people. Stop trying to use people to get to where you want. The more that you're self-fulfilled, the more that your glass is full, the more you're able to fill the glass of other people. Once you don't need as much from people, you're far more likely to be able to give more. And when you give more to people, people will want to give things back because people want to reciprocate. People want to have valuable people around them. The more that you are self-fulfilled, the more that you help others, the more that others want to help you. It's a great virtuous circle that everybody comes out in a much better place. Be careful about the sorts of people that you give to. I always advise give freely, but then cut ruthlessly. Help people as much as you can, but when you understand that they're negative or that they're a taker, don't continue to give. Protect your resources, protect yourself, and continue to help other people who deserve it and value you. I promise you, the more value that you start providing your relationships, the more value and the better relationships you're going to get from the people around you, because you're going to find people like you who also want to give, that you can all rise to a much higher place. And that's when life becomes truly amazing. If this has helped you, if you've liked my content, please help me out by liking, commenting, subscribing. It really helps the channel. If I've ever helped you in any way, that'd be massively appreciated. If you want more of this and you want help implementing these strategies, reach out to me below, sign up for my newsletter, and I'll catch you in the next one.